Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com, and I'm doing another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending April 17th. And as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we're going to take a look at this week has to do with Dungeons & Dragons Online. And the news is that Turbine reveals Update 9 for DDO, which adds the Harbinger of Madness Adventure Pack designed for players level 15 and up, also changing our improvements to social skills and the new prestige enhancements for sorcerers and favorite soul classes. A new crafting feature allowing players to customize weapons and armor effects is also in the works for the update. Now this is just a gist of the overall update, but the fact is there's a ginormous changelog for Update 9, which is actually worth skimming through. As the name of the update suggests, this is the 9th major update for DDO, which is a 3D fantasy MMORPG which actually used to be pay to play but eventually relaunched as a free to play game and has since been much more successful. It's actually one of the first few Western pay-to-play games that have relaunched as free-to-play games. Next up guys, the latest update for Combat Arms arrives on April 20th and it adds a brand new map to the game called Oil Rig. It is yet another new map to Combat Arms. The map Oil Rig, guys, features an abandoned oil rig where stolen government funds are rumored to be kept. Not sure why Nexon added a backstory to that, but they got one. Now the map itself is based on a European map design contest and features many hiding and sniping positions. And the video you're seeing right now has absolutely nothing to do with the new Oil Rig map, it's just a random gameplay video I found. But you can expect the map to launch on April 20th. Up next guys, on April 14th, 2011, Gamescom has revealed the launch date for Legend of Edda Chapter 2, which is on April 27th. Chapter 2, as some of you guys guessed it, is the second major update to the game, and it's called Chapter 2, Return of the God. The update will introduce the third tiers of jobs to the game, available at level 40, which include the Shadowrunner, Templar Champion, Scout, Bishop, and Necromancer. Players will also be able to advance to the new level cap of 54, earning new skills and visiting 4 new open world maps: Lohora Plateau, Garden of Cybele, Shadow Canyon, and the Wailing Wall. The Frozen Prison, the Memory of Ancients, and the Sanctuary of Frozen Time will debut as new instance dungeons in the game as well. Another small change is guilds can now level up to level 5 in the expansion and purchase skills that will increase experience and drop rates for their members, which is kind of cool. Now all of this and more will be launching on April 27th for Legend of Edda. Up next guys, on April 14th we have unfortunately a bit of bad news from EG. EG announced that on April 18th, 2011, Genesis AD, their 3D sci-fi themed MMOFPS game, will unfortunately be shutting down. Now this actually shouldn't come as a surprise to many of you guys because Genesis AD never really had a big player base, which is actually pretty unfortunate because I found the game to be really fun. Now, even though the game is shutting down on Iggy, it doesn't mean the game is gone for good. The game's developer, Queensoft, may pick up the game and relaunch it themselves, who knows. It always sucks to see a game shut down, especially one that just recently launched. But don't worry guys, for every game that shuts down, there seems to be many more new ones taking its place. Next up guys, on April 14th, 2011, Area Games released an update for Grand Fantasia called the Mutated Phoenix Tower Update, which adds a new 10-man raid dungeon designed for higher level players to the game. The dungeon features a mutated Hateful Witch and drops material for the best quality level 80 armor and weapons in the game. Now this update itself went live on April 14th, so it's already out. Up next guys, the second part of the Shakespearean saga Mabinogi takes place on April 27th because that's when Mabinogi is going to release the Romeo and Juliet update. The update will include of course the Romeo and Juliet storyline for players to reenact in the game. Also added in the update will be homestead farms, a new lance weapon, a masquerade ball, and the fire horse. More details of the update will be revealed closer to April 27th. Now this is the second update in the Shakespearean saga, the first one was Hamlet. Now Mabinogi itself is a fairly old game, but it's really cool to see Nexon doing an awesome job keeping it updated. Well guys, that's it for MMO news, but as for upcoming games, we have nothing. But as for games that recently launched, we have 4 games to look at, and the first one is Mythos, which began its open beta testing on April 12th. On the European version hosted by Frogster, but keep in mind the European version of the game does not ban North American users, so North American users are free to play on the European server by Frogster. The game was supposed to have a US publisher as well, a Red Banner, but the game is kind of stalled over there. Now this is simply the open beta for the game. The full release is coming on April 28th, which will both raise the level cap and add new content to the game. Another game which recently launched, which I actually have mentioned last week, is Spiral Knights by 3 Rings, the same company behind Puzzle Pirates. Now the game itself launched on April 4th, 2011, so I should have mentioned it last week, but I forgot to. But the game is available now into open beta and playable by anyone. And if you haven't heard of Spiral Knights, guys, it's a 3D action MMO with bright anime-inspired graphics. The game also has a strong emphasis on cooperative play, which sounds kind of cool. Now guys, yet another game that launched into open beta this week on April 14th actually is Metal Assault from Area Games, which is a 2D side-scrolling action shooting MMORPG. Closed beta characters have been wiped before the open beta server began. The open beta received new updates to the game, adding the new zombie PvP mode, as well as some other new PvP maps and co-op missions. The quest system has also been upgraded as well. Definitely expect the first look coming for this game soon. The next and last game that launched this week, guys, is Global Agenda. Now, this game isn't exactly new, but the game itself relaunched as a free-to-play title on April 14th, 2011. Previously, it was a buy-to-play game like Guild Wars. I think it actually originally launched as a subscription-based game and eventually became buy-to-play, and now it is free-to-play. Now, the update which made the game free-to-play also revises skill trees for recon, assault, robotics, and medic classes, as well as adds new repeatable missions, introduces a new raid challenge called the Dome Defense, improves mercenary PvP rewards, and adds an acquisition. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO news and analysis for the week ending April 17th, 2011. Now, if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. And if you want to discuss anything in the video, head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway, guys, this is Omer, signing off.